Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh, get that off. Okay, so here we go. This is Simon with TrADenPERFORM Coaching. It is July 2nd. Important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors, the webinar is for educational purposes only and not a recommendation to buyers selling a financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options market. Do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Absolutely consult a registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. Okay, so cool. Look, here's the deal. What I'm trying to say quite clearly is when this thing gets on a rip, okay, the first pink bar you get clearly above this 9-period EMA, okay, list. Let me erase this and I'll show you a couple examples. It's a 1-bar stop, right? It's this bar, this is a stop, this bar, right? And it just goes when it goes. So when it gets above, it's the point of control and the pink bar above, and they lift. ETA should be great at that trade, right? So I'm just going to go through the day. If you will notice, when it comes through, if you get the purple bar on the other side, and I'm going to do something really quick. That's 6, so y'all can see this. Hold on. I want y'all to see this more clearly without necessarily having to deal with the location pieces on it. There we go. So, these out of the way. Okay, so let's see. Chart, duplicate chart. F6, F5. Really? Yeah, this is frustrating how. Yeah. This is really fast. Display settings. Yeah. There we go. So, what you will see. So again, I want to get that 9 EMA right up on the edge, right? So if you look at this series of trades through here, let's say we get to 917, right? I want 2 qualifiers for this setup. Again, no one should just go and start trading this, right? But I want the point of control underneath, right? I want it to fall away right away, and I want it not to come back. Like really, that bar is your stop no matter what. So if you look when it, see how it gets to the edge, the next series of purple bars I want to take, but what I want is that flush. So I want everything else in order of, right? And I want that thing to get outside the channel. So as I go through the day, right, I'm trying to catch them overextended, and we all have multiple ways of catching quote-unquote overextended. So one of the ways to do it is you get outside the 4th channel, right? You get outside the fourth channel, and then you're waiting for the pink bar that gets above, but you don't want it in the top of the channel. Like, you want all this to kind of line up at the same time when you're taking the trade. So, like, let's say I was trying to short here, which we weren't in this case, but let's say I was, right? I'm looking for this bar, and I'm looking for this to occur within really the top 2 bars of a turn bar. So let me explain that. I don't want to take it all the way down here. Like, if I was going to short this, I want it to come off a turn, hit the point of control underneath, and run. And I don't want to keep taking the trade as it's going down, right? So I want it no more than the 3rd bar down and the point of control underneath. So it looks just like that, right? So I'm going to say it again. So it looks just like that. The other thing, even though no one has it on there, is if you get the shove down with the point of control underneath with the delta thrust, that's also valid. But all I'm trying to do is set up and go, hey, when I look for a trade and I know that trade can go, like, this would be a place I would look for the trade, right? We're ripping all the way down, right? So then the next thing I'm going to go is, wow, I would really, right here, I would have liked a pink bar to land right there. Didn't do it, right? Totally fine with, it's important, with the point of control above. If you're not getting the point of control above, you're going to get stopped. And if you're trading it while it's in the middle, so this is overnight, doesn't count. So where I'd be looking for it is, let me show you. Okay, see how this gets completely outside the channel? So let's talk about extremes and what we look for. See how that's completely outside the channel? Yeah, I'd look for it there. The moving average, that 9 EMA is completely outside the 4th channel, right there. 9 EMA is completely outside the channel. Stopped, right? No more than the 3rd bar. Lifts up, 3rd bar. That 3rd bar has a delta thrust on it too. Down it rolls, okay? And when it's inside, I'm just not paying very much attention to it, particularly on that 24 tick. I really need it to get beyond the 4th channel or to the 4th channel. So over here, I'd be looking for it, right? Over here, I'd be looking for it, and I'm looking for the pink bar with a point of control above. The first bar that does that is this. It's a 1 bar stop for the lift. So you're looking for both pieces. Get to an extreme, get the purple bar to be, really you want the pink or purple to be the 1st or 2nd bar that crosses that line. You'd like a delta thrust on it, it's a 1 bar stop. Why is the 1 bar stop important? Because on that 24 tick, again, it brings the stop down to roughly 27 to 20. So a 10-point stop on that trade gets you tapped back in. Get you stopped out, but it lets you get your 1-to-1 RR much more easily. Oh, thank you. Hold on, let me fix that. Really? Is this better, Ed? Are we picking up better? Okay, cool. Sorry, I guess I had it too far away. Bad boy. There we go. Hey, Nate, I think your camera's on. If you can turn it off, please. I think. Okay, cool. So that's all I'm looking for there. I'm just trying to find additional edge of where it's going to fall away, right? The other thing I want to point out, and we know this from various algo testing, is I want to address 2 things. First of all, Apex is clearly having troubles with whatever they're doing over there, like even on a slow day like yesterday. So I don't know what's up with that. They need to fix that, get their stuff in order. They are paying people, I can tell you that, but they're having rhythmic issues to an extreme. So I don't know what else to say about that. The other thing I want to point out, on this 15 tick, right, I'm going to be specific to the 15 tick, okay, because the stop is small. When you are getting a delta thrust, and everyone should have the delta thrust, I pray this week, we're close. I will circle today. Hold on. As a matter of fact, let me just send a message really quick. Okay. Get this over here. Get this over here. There we go. So I want to point something out to you, right? So I know most people don't like staring at the screen. They want to see their own screen. So I get it, right? But there's something very important. If you look at these bars with the delta thrust, here, I'm going to point them out. Delta thrust, 1 bar stop. Here, I'm going to go to the left, to the right. When you get a delta thrust with a no supply, no demand on it, like this, okay, they tend to lift. So if you look over at the screen, okay, look over at the screen, you go, oh, and I see a delta thrust on there, and hopefully, like I said, this week we'll have it, gratefully, right? You will notice they lift a lot. It's the little white arrow, right? Even more importantly, when they come on the second bar, it's fantastic. Why is it fantastic on the second bar? Because the stop is uber tiny, right? Like it's like 5 points on the 15 ticket. It also applies to the 24. When you're getting that second thrust, I'm going to show you. When you get the lift bar to have both a delta thrust and it's pink, they tend to go vertical in one direction. Okay, in all our testing that we've done, and this is in reference to the Auto Trader, that bar, when it's the second bar and it has the both the no supply, no demand, and the delta thrust on the same bar, okay, all else being equal, meaning you have every other possible thing that you're looking for on the setups, right? That particular trade works extremely well, okay? Also, the delta thrust coming on the second bar. So let's go through the individual components. Combined has a very high win rate, okay? I'm going to say that again. Combined has a very high win rate. So if you'll just go through and go, oh, I've got a delta thrust and I've got a pink bar. The stop on that, on 15 tick, and it is small, I think it's 4 points. It's 02 to 97.50, so let's just call it 5 points. Okay, it is a very, very small stop, and it has the potential to give you very large rewards. In this particular case, it goes from, let's call it 02 up to 18 with a 5-point stop. So that's 3 to 1 RR, right? 3 to 1 RR. Now, I realize not everyone wants to stare at the screen. I'll get it out to you, but that is coming. We're working very hard on it, I promise you, right? The other point is, see when you have this moving average and it's what ends up being way outside the channel, same thing on the 15, the apex traps, when it's in this condition, work very well. So here, I'm going to really screw this up by doing this. Okay, I'm going to go back in, analysis, studies. Here's the second one. Okay. No, wrong one. There we go. So, when you get, trying to show you. So there's two things that are important to me on this moving average. That is a 20-period moving average on this thing, okay? So what is important to me on that is see how it's just ripping and can't get underneath? I'm talking about this specific rip right here, okay? So I'm not using this 24 hours a day, around the clock, in every decision-making piece that I have. What I want on this bar is if I start ripping on the outside channel, I want to get a gray bar with a point of control underneath, just like this, on this chart, so that I know I can start looking for apex traps or my other various setups once I get a retrace back up on this chart. So again, it doesn't always work, right? But see how we're pushing down to get outside that 20-period EMA, right? To get back up, I want to come back, and now I want my algos to fire from here, right? And where am I using it? When we're face ripping. So see how we're ripping down right here? Now I want it. Look at how the thing works if you follow it closely, right? See how we start going down? We're stuck outside, right? So there's a let's call it a defined move. to the downside, it's a little bit of art practice. I get the point of control above. I generally know on my next pullbacks, right, particularly with my apex traps, they are likely to get responsive buys back to the upside, right? Works the same way on the downside. See how it's going over there? I don't want to short this till now. Now that I've got this, right, see this? I hung outside of it, let's call it for 10 minutes, right? I hung outside of it. I broke that, it came back up. Now's where I am looking to get my trades to the downside. And what I wanted to do is make a, just visually you go, okay, I'm looking for an extension, right? So see how it's grabbing that 20 period and moving up right here at lunch, right? I'll tell you when I want to start looking. Now I want to start looking. Where? I get a gray bar with a point of control underneath. Now I want it to retrace and start giving me my entries. Now sometimes it'll retrace and my apex trap. Sometimes it'll retrace and won't give me my entries, right? So let me try to define this. I want a clear move like this. Clear move, right? I want it to close underneath. And I want it to come back up and give me some sort of apex trap, but my subsequent setups from there should give me some kind of confirming roll to the downside, just like this. Now, where does it get confusing? Well, am I back trending up now? The way you'll know that it works, the way that you know that you can still take it, is when it gets above like this, it won't get back below. It won't do these switchbacks. And then I'm just looking for an extension away. So like here, I can say, wow, we've moved underneath, right? But I know once we hit that back again, see how we came back through here? Point of control above. Now I'm looking for a pullback. Now I'm looking for my normal setup right over here to go in the direction of. I want all those pieces, and preferably I would like the price to land outside the channel and then cross and then wait. It will slow your trading down. It doesn't eliminate any other setup that we have, right? Purple bar stuffed, etc., etc. You can trade all of those. You don't have to wait. I'm just showing you observations that I have on the trade that I'm considering adding it to as a part of my personal process, because what I notice, and usually it's obvious, when it's really the best is like it's backside testing that and rejecting off of it. Now we've gotten above. Now I'm like, oh good, we've gotten above. Now pull back, give me an apex trap into that, and now I know that I have a good chance for an extension back up. That process works over and over. Where does it suck? When it pushes up, gets underneath, and doesn't give you enough extension back up to give you the move to the downside, but it's okay. And it needs to be a gray bar, not a no supply, no demand that gets over it. And so here's the question. Would I still take my no supply, no demand if it was underneath? If it had a delta thrust on it? Answer, yes. Right? Why? Because I know that that already works. All I'm trying to use this bar for is to get additional trades for confirmation. So see how we rejected off of this? Now we're above. Now I'm hoping for my next pullback without it breaking out into trend up, which will be right here. Now I'm looking for the long right over here. And even if it's just a scalp, that's still 47 to 64. I will take it all day long and twice on Sunday. That is a good trade for me, right? And that's where we stand right now. So again, in 10 minutes, ECB and Fed Chair are presenting. I have no desire to interfere with those guys or trade in front of those guys, so I am probably just burning the first hour, and then I'll be back when they're done and let the market do what it needs to do. So I am wide open for questions. Follow your plan. Do not deviate. And then the last thing is, and I say this to everyone I coach, when I introduce a new idea, think about it. It's just a new idea. You don't have to trade it, right? You do not have to trade it, and if you don't like it, just ding, 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 take them all off, and you will have a clear idea of where you would like to trade. Like, for example, here's an easy one for me to take off, is it's not proving vital. There we go. There's less noise on that chart, just like that. And then I have the 100 and the 200 and the 20 period, right? Plus the MA. So I'll keep lowering it down, but it's easy. You don't have to throw everything I have up on my charts. This is a good week for me to experiment. Let me adjust all these charts here. Guys, if y'all give me just a second, I just heard something go boom, and I want to make sure that the boom wasn't on my property. So give me just a sec. Okay. By the way, the volatility on ES has just dropped to 2019 levels. I saw somewhere last night, something on Trading Stats, or I forget his website. I'll go look. But the ES volatility is at a multi-year low. Okay, then I think we are set. We'll just watch how it goes, and like I said, I'm pretty much a passenger this morning on the everything. Just gonna wait till they get past the Fed speakers, and then I'll go from there. I just don't have any desire to trade those guys. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Sorry, the profile. Let's fix. Sorry, my bad. Overnight unfair pricing. Overnight unfair pricing. I think that's it. Oh, you know, I forgot. Just adjust for unfair pricing above and below. Oh, what in the heck? That's chart number. Oh, yeah. Into the overnight unfair pricing. Yada, 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 so on and so forth. Straight up, no surprise. NASDAQ almost positive. A great example of how I want a point of control below. Point of control below, or I just skip all my short entries. Very simple. I need a gray bar with a pointing control underneath to tell me this is broken. We're inside the prior day's PSC, and then I'm looking for rotations back up if I'm going to short, or I'm waiting for a reset to the downside if I'm going long. Notice I still don't have a gray bar with a point control underneath. It's moving average, which means buyers are still in overall control, with the target being the back of the Globex high location. All the way up to Globex high. New high of day. Again, I'm looking to know when this is broken to get a gray bar with a pointing control underneath on that 24 tick. Still no gray bar with a pointing control underneath the downside. Look at all that pain that saved you trying to short that, just by waiting for that point of control to get underneath. Makes life. Then you're waiting for a retrace and then a setup. Makes your life much easier. That's open drive higher, by the way, which is no shot. Still no point of control underneath that thing. Same day up. We said that's not shocking. Still no gray bar below. Now you've got a gray bar below. Now you can start to look for your retraces, and you should see some give in the rotation. Again, I am just a spectator until the first hour ends, and I'm sure that the Fed guys are out of the way. I still don't have I have one down bar since the open on a 5-minute chart. 5 minutes till top of the hour. Again, once you get this underneath, your extensions down start to become much easier, and vice versa for the longs. If you let just that integrate into your idea or concept, you're always training it to your bias, right? So I was like, oh, I want to short this, right? Okay, gray bar underneath. Now I can let the lift and start looking for my trades. There's apex trap on the 24 tick, and it gets the extension. It's a lot easier than picking it off over here. There's some fast trading for you. I got pretty jumpy there, didn't it? Pretty damn fast on the jumpy part, guys. Just FYI, these bars are forming really fast. Really fast. One up, one down on a 15 tick. One up, one down. Five-minute bars folding over each other. Up, down, up, down, up, down. That means it's choppy, right? Buyers are in total control of this bad boy. This is wave one down, by the way. No. Well, not as bad as I thought, so maybe it's tradable today. We'll see. Trying the highs again on NQ. And I'm looking for trades now, by the way, but of course now we're in trend up. So my strategy may have been opposite of what it needed to be today. Hey Tasia, good morning. Just so you know, I wasn't trading the whole first hour. The Fed chair and the ECB chair were speaking at the same time. Now I am, but I wasn't then. Taking out the highs of the day on NQ. Hello. I'm muting out. Hold on. How's everyone doing this morning? Real good?
I'll come back in just a few minutes to
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the little algo that code is $220. I didn't touch it. So right. Huh? Huh? Well, we made some changes to it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like... Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but that's good. 11 points, $220. Okay. I'll probably need to get a pencil in there. I'll ask her. Okay.
okay.
Short indicator has gone on. It just means the two moving averages have spread way apart from each other. But you will see where the turns start to come here. I'll show you where it came on yesterday. So this is the short this morning where it came on. Usually you'll find a pink bar stuffed right at the top or a delta surge up stuffed. And over here, this is where it flagged long. Again, usually you'll find a no supply, no demand bar that gets stuffed, or a delta surge that gets stuffed after that for the long. That's where they come out of. And then here was a short yesterday. Again, what you'll find when this is on in particular if you can get the delta surge right at the high, we don't get it here. You got it over here to the right, but it's already turned off. And then again, this is the long. You're looking for the delta surge to get stuffed, and the trap back into that delta surge to get stuffed works really nicely as well. And then here's where it was long. There's that delta surge with the no supply, no demand on the same bar, and the reversal out of there. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for when it gets into that area. That's what I'm hunting. Is I want to see a delta surge up and a no supply, no demand to get stuffed on the one bar. That's the clue for me that I could push that trade pretty far, right? Does that make sense when I explain that, guys? So when I have this on, what I'm looking for is this thing to light up with a pink bar or a delta surge up over here to know that I have these guys potentially stuffed and roll them to the downside. Again, when this is on, I'm looking for something very specific. And that is a pink bar that gets stuffed at the top up here, and if that stops out, the apex trap back into it for the swing. New high of the day on NQ. Yes, still lagging. We're in that 10-minute window where there's lots of stops, by the way. Are you comfortable?
We only got about 10 minutes or so. Huh? Yeah, that's it.
So humid. I was about to drag the humidifier out of the house and put it in this room.
I feel like I would have put,
Huh?
I feel like in that, maybe actually down, totally down. Still low.
Huh? Hey Siri, start a 6-minute countdown timer. It's off.
Okay, so what are we doing to the other account?
One's up $978. I shut that one off. I had a 62% win rate there today. I started off with the long account, but one's up $160. I thought it was in the other account, so I just shut it off. I just switched, and then I'm working on the bottom one there. It's up $57.20. I just started working on it.
Okay, and then what's your plan for that one?
Same as the first one. I'm looking for the arrows, zeros down, the tight stops.
Arrows down.
Arrows down specifically, and most importantly, so if it's just an arrow down by itself, I take one contract. If it's an arrow down on a purple bar or arrow up on a pink bar, I take 2 contracts. That's the plan. And then I completely turned off Apex to see if I just focus on one thing, I do better. So I'm just going to let it go and just, whatever the result is, that's fine. I have the YouTube book.